20, verse 11. Then I saw a great white throne, and him who was seated on it. Earth and sky fled from his presence, and there was no place for them. And I saw the dead, great and small, standing before the throne, and books were opened. Another book was opened, which is the book of life. The dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. The sea gave up the dead that were in it, and death and Hades gave up the dead that were in them. And each person was judged according to what he had done. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. The lake of fire is the second death. If anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire.
Chapter 48. And in that place I saw the spring of righteousness, which was inexhaustible. And around it were many springs of wisdom, and all the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom. And their dwellings were with the righteous and holy and elect. And at that hour that Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits. And his name was brought before the head of days, even before the sun and the signs were created. Before the stars of heaven were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits. He shall be a staff to the righteous, and they shall steady themselves and not fall. And he shall be the light of the Gentiles, and the hope of those who are troubled of heart.
Romans 11, verse 11. I say then, have thou stumbled, that they should fall? God forbid. But rather, through their fall salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? For I speak to you, Gentiles, inasmuch as I am the apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. If by any means I provoke to emulation them which are my flesh, and might save some of them. For if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what shall the receiving of them be, but life from the dead? For if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou, being a wild olive tree, wert grafted in among them, and with them partakest of the root and fatness of the olive tree, boast not against the branches. But if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Thou wilt say then, the branches were broken off, that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off. And thou standest by faith. Be not high-minded, but fear. For if God spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee.
All who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him, and will praise and bless, and sing and celebrate the Lord of spirits. And for this reason he has been chosen and hidden in front of, author's note, kept safe by, him, before the creation of the world and forevermore. And the wisdom of the Lord of spirits has revealed him to the holy and righteous. For he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and rejected this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved, and according to his good pleasure, and it is he who has regard to their life. In these days the kings of the earth and the strong who possess the land, because of the works of their hands, will be shamed, because on the day of their anguish and affliction they shall not be able to save themselves. And I will give them over into the hands of my elect. As straw in the fire, so shall they burn before the face of the holy. As lead shall they sink before the face of the righteous. And no trace of them shall be found any more.
Malachi 4. For behold, the day cometh, that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch.
And on the day of their affliction there shall be rest on the earth. Author's note, because the evil ones will be destroyed. And before him they shall fall down and not rise again, and there shall be no one to take them with his hands and raise them up. For they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. Chapter 49.